yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Welcome to our services. We're glad to see so many of you with us this evening, and we're just still into summer. I don't care what's going on. We're not going to let fall come yet. I haven't seen any leaves turning. Has anyone else? Really?
Take it back.
Okay. Well, we're going to start with the lighting of the candles. Would someone like to come up and light candles for us? Thank you, please. We'll do it Dallas style. Whatever you do.
Whatever you do,
Right.
That's exactly what it means.
Yeah.
Either way.
Sure.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat.
May the Shabbat candles that we now light inspire us to see justly and gently, look honestly and with kindness as we see what is holy in each other. We turn in our prayer books now. Page 4, at the bottom of the page, Hine ma tov, how good and pleasant it is to be together.
It is so wonderful, so good to see so many of you that chose to spend this Shabbat with us tonight. So please take just a moment to introduce yourself or to say Shabbat Shalom to someone who's sitting nearby. Hine ma tovu manayim Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim 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 Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, ya la la ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, ya la la ya la 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 la. Hine ma tovu manayim שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Well, the cantor and I have been on kind of like this whirlwind tour starting last week when we were in Hoboken. And we led a service, Friday night service, using our prayer books. And as I began to read them, it occurred to me, as we sit nestled in the Rocky Mountains, so we adapted very quickly. We said, as we sit nestled amongst the buildings of Manhattan, which is definitely not as pretty, but it was still fun. Let's continue responsively at the middle of page 8. May we never take for granted the gift of Shabbat as we sit nestled in the Rocky Mountains, sharing this humble moment with family and friends. May the satisfaction of celebrating Shabbat hearten our spirits. Let Shabbat priest and allow this time set aside for song and prayer to bring us closer together in thoughts and deeds. The space we share become our place of devotion, glowing with reverence and filled with our traditions. May the end of this week encourage us to examine our actions and let us look ahead toward the new week, be worthy of all of God's blessings. The top of page 8 as we welcome the Sabbath with Shalom Aleichem and join together.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShabbos, Malachei Elech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. V'melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. V'melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. V'melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We had a wonderful Monday morning with Shimon Zemer, our tour guide for Israel, and he talked about Jerusalem. He said, wherever you are in the world, whenever you're approaching Jerusalem, you always say, you're going up to Jerusalem. And that was fascinating. I knew that, but I hadn't really thought as much about it. That's when we turned to page 12 for Sinai. The pilgrims lifted their eyes up to the mountains. They cried out, where does my help come from? We'll join with the cantor, Sinai.
Sinai el harim, me'ayin yavo Ezri. Sinai el harim, me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim va'aretz. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim va'aretz. Sinai el harim, me'ayin yavo Ezri. Sinai el harim, me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim va'aretz. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim va'aretz.
Middle of page 15, we have the wonderful reading about our covenant with God, how we take care of everything that's around us as we continue responsively. As we live amidst the trees, streams, and mountains of Vail, we pray for the care and healing of the earth so that present and future generations may enjoy the fruits of creation. God made a covenant with Abraham and Sarah, blessing them and their descendants through generations. We teach our children to love Judaism, to honor and carry on our traditions and the laws of the Torah, so our legacy may continue. God made a covenant with Moses and the Israelite people to all generations, giving our people the 10 Commandments, and challenging us to choose the life of goodness. May each day be filled with kindness, honesty, integrity, and righteous acts, so we remain filled with the promise of these covenants. As we welcome the Sabbath bride and turn to page 16 and join together Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'ribor echad, Hishmianu el hamiyuchad, Adonai echad, Shmo echad, L'shemo tiferet ve'litchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nilcha, ki hi mekor ha'beracha, mirosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh v'machshavah tchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Mikdash melech yirmelucha, Kumitzi metoch ha'afaycha, Ravach shevet ve'emek ha'macha, Vehu yachmol alayich alaychem la. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
At the bottom of page 18, we rise, face the rear of the sanctuary as we greet the Sabbath bride.
Boi b'shalom ateretz bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzahara, tochem unei am segula, boi kala, boi kala. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. All right, you know it now. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
You may be seated as we continue responsibly in English. Psalm 92, the top of the page. Page 21. It is good to give thanks to you, O Lord, to praise your name through song, to speak in the morning of your loving kindness, your faithfulness each night. Music of the lute and the harp, the melody of the lyre. I'll sing with my delight as we continue the bottom of page 20.
Sadikatamar yifrach ke'eres bamanon yizker shetulim bevit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenun b'seir ישנים לרעננים יהיו להגיד כי ישר אדוני סורי ללב לטבול.
Well, again, we're going to read from Dr. Crane Says from 1921 Boston Globe just for today. And tomorrow we'll be reading it at a bat mitzvah, and it takes on a whole different meaning when the mother of the bat mitzvah gets to read the same thing. So you got to tell me, in the Lake of the Ozarks, do they have a shul? No. So it's not like the movie, it's not like the show on Netflix, Ozarks, where they all come in on boats and just daven together. We're going to have you read. We welcome you back from the Ozarks. So there's no shul anywhere up there. It was barely a church from what we saw on the TV show. If you'd like to lead us responsibly.
Just for today, I will live one day.
Is it on?
Hello?
There we go.
Just for today, I will live one day only, forgetting yesterday and tomorrow, and not trying to solve
the whole
problems of life at once.
Just for today, I'll be unafraid of life and death, unafraid to enjoy the beautiful and be happy. People are as happy as they make up their minds to.
Just for today, I will adjust myself to what is, and not try to adjust everything to suit me. If I cannot have what I like, I will try to like what I have.
Just for today, I'll be agreeable, cheerful, charitable, do my best, praise people for what they can do, not criticize them for what they cannot do. If I find fault, I'll forgive it, forget it. I'll try not to improve nor regulate anybody except myself.
Just for today, I will have a plan. I may not follow it exactly, but I will have one. It will save me from worry, hurry, and indecision.
Just for today, I'll get people off my nerves and not get on theirs. I'll appreciate them for what they do and what they are.
Just for today, I will not show it if my feelings are hurt.
Just for today, I'll find a little time for quiet, to relax, to realize what life is and can be. Time to think about God and get a better perspective of myself.
Just for today, I will look at life with fresh eyes and discover the wonder of it. I will know that as I give to the world, so the world will give to me.
Thank you. As we turn to page 24 and rise, we'll continue with our call to worship and join together in the Baruch Hu.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. ונשמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה נגע יומם ולילה ואהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך
as we turn to page 30 in our prayer books, who are our guests to lead us in Shema today?
Oh, Ziva and Colton are going to lead us in Shema tonight.
Could have Grandpa, too, if we wanted.
Oh, Ziva says Poppy needs to come with.
Sure. We want to make sure we hear him, too. Here we go.
Yisrael, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Echad, Baruch,
Shem Kavod, Malchuto, Leolam, Va'ed. Did you teach Poppy that, I guess? Very nice. Thank you as we continue.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha ubechol nafshecha ubechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha bebeitecha, uv'lechtecha v'aderech, uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha, uv'shartam le'od ayadecha, v'hayu letodafot bein einecha, uchtabtam al mezuzot beitecha, Uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'ten kedoshim le'elechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiyot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
On page 34, it's a wonderful reading of Hashkivenu, and it really is a call out and a prayer for peace. So we join together responsively in the middle of the page. On this Shabbat evening, we seek peace and comfort, shield us from the hatred and destruction that plague so many corners of our world, and console those in need. May God provide peace and comfort in the refuge of His wings, protect us from concerns and distress, and keep us from thinking clearly. May we live each day with honesty, grace, and integrity, so we lie down each night free from worry and angst, and awake each morning with renewed life. Grant us good counsel, so we'll make each day worthy of your promises. Guard our going forth and coming in. Bless us with life and peace. May we always feel protected in the shadow of your wings. For blessed are you, eternal God, whose shelter of peace spreads over us, over people, and over all of Jerusalem. The top of page 34 as we join with the cantor.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom vehamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom vehamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ushmor tzeiteinu uvoenu lechaim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom vehamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom vehamidenu malkeinu lechaim.
In the book of Exodus, we read that in 6 days the Lord created the heavens and the earth. The seventh day He ceased from His work and rested. Page 36, the Shamru.
Which one should we do? Yeah.
The lively one or the Debbie Friedman one? Okay. Glad you spoke up.
Israel et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat L'dorotam berit olam V'shamru b'nei Israel et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat L'dorotam berit olam Nein Yuvin b'nei Yisrael Oti le'olam Oti le'olam V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat L'dorotam berit olam Ki sheshem yamim Asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabbat la'asot et hashabbat l'dorotam berit olam u'bayom hashvi Shabbat vayinaflash Shabbat vayinaflash Shabbat vayinaflash V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat L'dorotam berit olam V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat L'dorotam berit olam.
The Birkat HaGomel prayer expresses our gratitude for the miracle of healing and full restoration to health itself, family and friends, and indeed to full restoration to each of us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, hagomel l'chayavim tovot, shegginolani kol tov. May God, who has bestowed kindness upon us, continue to bestow every goodness upon each of us and restore us to health. There are those in our community who are in need of healing of body, mind, or spirit. If you have a loved one who is in need of this, just a moment, please feel free to share their name aloud as we move about the sanctuary. We continue page 38, Mishaberach.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing and let us say Amen.
We keep in our thoughts Gail Balin, Sue Beiser, Linda Colin, Blanche Deutsch, Lynn Deutschman, Carol and Finn, Jane Friedman and Steve Friedman, Gail Gerber, Deborah Goldman, Cliff Goldman, Jeff Goldsmith, Dylan Hansen, Mike Herman, Ken Imler, Donald Jaffe, Warren Janowitz, Mary Sue Katz, Skip Clowens, Herman Keek, Brian Kushner, Renee Levine, Rabbi Sue Levy, Allison Levy, Charlie Levy, Alyssa Levy, and Renee Myers, Stephen Reese, Chip Ruth, Roberta Scheller, Sam Schwartz, Bernie Shavitz, Ann Sheldon, Bill Silvers, Dina Stempler, Maury Strauss, Alan Tenenbaum, Toby Weinstock, Tevye Wellens, Goldie Wetcher, and Mickey Winokur. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
John and Harvey Latham.
Thank you. yet.
And let us say, Amen.
Turn to page 40 and rise. We'll continue with the Reader's Kaddish.
Yitkada ve'yitkadash shemei rabba.
Amen.
Ve'amad yivarach yirteh ve'amlich malchuteh.
V'chayechon v'yomechon u'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, u'vizman kariv.
Ve'imeru.
Amen. Yesh me'rabba mevarach. Ve'alam u'lameho maya. Yitzbarach.
Yitzbarach v'yishabach, v'par v'trama v'naseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei d'kudsha,
Brechu.
le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata.
Tishbechata v'nechemata, damiran v'yalma.
Ve'imeru.
Amen. Be not afraid of silence. It's more powerful than the unpolished word. It allows God's voice to be heard and allows tears and doubt to tumble out. Page 42 at the top of the page as we continue.
Satai tiftach. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai. Satai tiftach. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai. Satai tiftach. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai. Satai tiftach. Ufi yagid tehilatecha.
You may be seated when you've completed the Amida. Found in the book of Psalms, Yilu Ratzon, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, Cantor continues on page 56, middle of the page. Well, the great first century sage Hillel was asked about 2,000 years ago, as a potential convert, to teach me the whole Torah while standing on one leg. It's a common story that so many of us have heard. And he said, of course, what is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. That's the whole Torah. The rest is the explanation. Now go and study it. But some of the commentators, it's more interesting than just what he said. The commentators suggested that maybe he should have said something different. They said he should have said, Kadoshim tiyu, ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem. He should have said, you shall be holy, for I am the Lord your God, I am holy. Now notice that he doesn't say you should be moral, because I am the Lord your God who is moral, or you should be righteous, because I am righteous. Instead, in the Torah, it says, be holy because I am the Lord your God and I am holy. Now, being holy is not necessarily being moral. It isn't being righteous or even socially conscious, although those include many of those things. But being holy, I think what they're trying to say is that it transcends the day-to-day, the mundane affairs which fill our lives, and it's a much higher outline that they've tried to describe for living. Now, we're living in challenging times. There's great division between political parties in this nation, the ongoing scourge of the opioid crisis, the rising rates of anti-Semitic activity that we've seen the past years. So the question is, and they were asking, why should anyone want to be holy? And what does it even mean to be holy? Well, the rabbis thought about this, and they said that a holy life is one which is going to make you better as an individual, and your world will then be better for all of us. So they offered a few suggestions to living this holy life. The first thing they said was, set aside a sacred time. Keep my holy Sabbath, honor my holy sanctuary, says God. Now you try and read through the first century eyes of the people that were writing this. And the rabbis were saying, keep the Shabbat, and that was usually understood observing Shabbos in the ancient temple in Jerusalem. Now, for each of us, it's not so easy to always set aside some time that's holy for Shabbat, but each of us, I think, have to make that conscious effort to be together with our family and friends and say, before we go out for dinner, or to a special affair at the library, which we're going to get done in time for you, or all these other things that are happening, come here, spend an hour in the chapel, spend an hour on the mountain, by the creek, places that we've made sacred, and our time and our attention, well, these are precious commodities and they're high demand. Our lives are impossibly crowded with all kinds of stuff. But Rabbi Avraham Joshua Heschel said it a different way, famously called Shabbat a palace in time. It's here where you enter, you enjoy, then you raise the bar of holiness in your life. This is how we sanctify time, rather than have time control us. Well, the essence of living a holy life is to remember that each of us has what used to be known as a spark. It was a pintala yid, this little divine spark that's in each of us. And I think as we honor and elevate the spark, when we remember to just love your neighbor, or when we respect each and every person around us, most importantly by listening, we create a better environment for all of us. When we seek to understand, rather than simply dismiss, insult with those whom we disagree, we can bring honor back to ourselves. When we model our behavior for our children and grandchildren, that's what makes the difference. Now, the second suggestion made by the rabbis, and again, this is 2,000 years ago, they said simply, give. Arguably the most essential mitzvah in Jewish life, the one which the Talmud tells us explicitly that you have to instruct to all Jews. Listen for a moment what they meant back then. 2,000 years ago, they said, our rabbis require us to set aside some of the produce from the fields for those in need. When you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not reap all the way to the edges of your field, but gather the gleanings of your harvest and leave those corners alone. And you shall not pick your vineyard bare or gather the fallen fruit of your vineyard. You shall leave them for the poor and for the stranger who is visiting. Of course, not many of us in Vail have a field or a harvest that we can look at and provide. But we have to, I think, when we read these things from a couple thousand years ago, is apply the spirit of the law. And the spirit of the law is how we live today, to remember that we have plenty. We have plenty, and what's our most precious commodity? Our time. Give generously of your time, and that fulfills these mitzvot. It's not just about money. This is the formula for holiness. It's essential to living what they described was a complete life. Set aside sacred time and remember the other and give. These three simple steps for living a holy life, and then we know that the world can benefit in so many different ways and live through our holiness. Amen. Now, the post office has the saying, through rain, through sleet, through hail, through snow, they're going to be here. Well, that's the same with our president. It didn't matter what happened to you. You're going to be here anyway. And you said, I'll be here. It's not hailing, snowing, and sleeting. And we didn't get in a fight saying that we should end at 7:15 instead of 7. That didn't happen. It's all yours.
Shabbat. And yes, I had a little accident. It looks bad, looks painful, but I'll be fine. I don't know about the door. I think it's in worse shape than I am. But yes, I've always been a person about commitment. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And I could have easily not come tonight, but I would have missed seeing all of you here and all of you watching on the live stream. So thank you for coming. This is great to see this crowd this late in the season. We do have a few events left. We have a bat mitzvah tomorrow morning, a dochio bat mitzvah. August 23rd is the book Havarah, 5 p.m. potluck dinner, 6 p.m. discussion at Sonny and Phil Brodsky's. I think you need to sign up for that. It's supposed to be a wonderful book. It's the bishops and
the bishop's wife, the rabbi's wife.
Bishop's wife, rabbi's wife. It's not on my sheet here. August 24th, we're going to have our second security training. Phil's coming up from Denver. He did an amazing job. If you were here for the first session, we learned a lot. This is not only about security training for this synagogue, but it's security training on what to do and what to be aware of, no matter where you are. If you did miss the first one, you should come, and that's, I think, 10 a.m. till about 12 o'clock. And if you want to be an usher in the future and you want some additional training, we're going to do some ushering training afterwards with Phil to recognize what's going on around us. August 24th, Twilight Hike with Nate Goldberg, 3 to 6 at the North Trail Park at Davis Trailhead. That's the end of Frontage Road and the West Vail Fire Station. And August 5th, we have Pickleball Social from 5 to 7, all levels Eagle Vail Courts, all ages. Please come. And most importantly, membership packets are out. You should have been getting the emails. Hopefully you got the wonderful letter from the rabbi and I. Thank you for your continued support. If you haven't renewed, we'd love to keep you in the family. And if you have friends and family who are visiting and love this place, recommend they join. We're having a big push to make this really a special place. So thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. It is really nice when we look out at all of you and we're looking out at friends. We're greeting with, so I say hello to all of them out there, and that loyal group in Philadelphia. They said they're always watching, so we're glad to see so many of you and with us. And the holidays are 39 days away. Hard to believe.
Don't say that.
I know. Okay. It's coming soon. At least it's that far away.
Yeah, so we're so excited for High Holidays. We'll be at Vail this year, so it'll be our first time in that venue. It's really special. We kind of have been loving all summer that we've had the opportunity to have services and explore so many different new places and new venues. So why stop at High Holidays? We're trying another one out. It should be really special. We also, for the first time in a very long time, are offering. We've historically offered a children's program during our regular High Holiday service, but we're now having a special family service in Edwards on Rosh Hashanah as well. So if you want more information about that, please let me know. We're also starting a choir this fall, and I know that there are many people in this room that I will be making personal phone calls to if you do not reach out to me first. So please come and join us for that, and that we'll be getting together and sing. I promise it's not your formal synagogue choir that maybe you're picturing in your mind. It's still guitar. It's still fun. And we'll be...
Paul, we need your voice.
Of course we do. We'll be joining at many different events for Hanukkah, all kinds of things. So please come join us for that as well.
Yeah. And summer was incredibly busy. We've had so many wonderful activities, and someone said, well, why don't we just do the same thing all winter? And that would kill the rabbi. I mean, we're not looking to do so. But we were brainstorming as we took that incredibly long ride back and forth to Piney Lake yesterday. It was an hour and a half to go 12 miles. But we talked about the winter, and we're coming up with some really good ideas of a winter mountaintop service and things like that we'd like to put together. And Hanukkah is just around the corner. So we're going to have a lot of really fun and interesting things all winter as well. So welcome to so many of you. We're glad to see you back with us and joining with us for this service. We're going to return to our prayer books now on page 60. We rise, join together, Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'teit gedula le'yotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot, ve'lo samanu k'mishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, ve'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'ne'emar, V'haya Adonai, L'melech al kol ha'aretz, Bayom hahu, Yihya Adonai echad, U'shemo echad.
At this moment in memory of our loved ones who are no longer with us, we join hands in love and remembrance. A link has been broken in the chain that bound us together. Yet strong bonds of home and love hold us one to another. In solemn testimony to that unbroken faith which links the generations one to another, we call to mind those whose yahrzeit we observe this month. Adele Abrams, Mark Albert, Charles Barrison, Jack Balin, Shirley Belcher, Ruth Cullen, Cantor Stephen Dubov, Richard Eisel, Lillian Ettinger, Irving Fielden, Beatrice Fliegelman, H. Mitchell Fox, Beatrice Doris Garland, Ada Goldman, Fred Goldsmith, Louis Grossman, Jerome Heffer, Emil Hess, Eileen Joseph, Saul Kaufman, Susan Kaufman, Dorothy Keller, David Landau, Felix Landau, Sylvia Lantzman, Arthur Langsam, Leo Levy, Samuel Levine, Philip Leibowitz, Ermi Liebenfeld Heller, Florian Linz, Beverly Lopatin, Bernard Melvin Shapiro, J. George Mitnick, Robert Morris, Joanne Seltzer, Moskowitz, Sarah Mossman, Claire Numeroff, Dorothy Newark Landau, Erwin Raymer, Lillian Rosenblatt, Leah Rothenberg, Julie Schechner, Ernest Scheller III, Morris Shore, Edwin Aaron Schwartz, Juliet Siegel, Zeke Siegel, Murray Shane, William Sigmund, Donald Steinberg, Thelma Stemple, Leonard Stern, David Waldman, Pauline Wolf, Julius Wolfen, Jim Schorsch, interesting, Olivia Newton John Easterling. Oh, thank you. And is anyone else observing outside? The Mourner's Kaddish can be found in our prayer books on page 64, and those who wish may join with us as we say, Yitzgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chal Beit Yisrael, v'agalav izman karev imramein, yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach, le'olam u'me'omaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudesha b'richu. Le'elamin kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, gamiran v'alma v'imramein. Yehi shlomo rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imramein. Oseh shalom v'imramav, v'yaseh shalom. And it will be Al Kol Yisrael Amen. You may be seated. If you haven't read the story of Olivia Newton-John, it was fascinating. It was forwarded on to me of her Jewish background. I thought it was just, I had no idea, and I think loved her music until she, maybe something from Greece for Adon Olam.
Huh.
In memory of her.
Okay.
Is this Stump the Cantor?
I'm trying to think what would be the best.
What's one of the good songs from Greece
There's
that she
lots
sang?
of good songs in Greece.
Okay, just do a normal one. This is good. It's okay. You're fired.
Okay, all right. We're going to try. I don't know how this
Which
is going to work.
Which one's this going to be?
You'll see in a second.
Okay. This is for Olivia.
Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'et Nasa V'chepto Kol Azai Melech Shemo Mikra Ve'acharei Yichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hoveh Ve'hu Yeh B'tifara Ve'hu Echad Ve'en Sheni Lehamshilo Lehachmira V'li Reshit V'li Tachlit V'lo Ha'oz V'ha'misra. I can't do that part. That's okay. Ve'hu Eli V'chai Go'ali V'tzor Chavli Ve'et Sarah Ve'hu Nitzi Umanotzi Menat Kotzi Ve'yom Ekra Ve'yado Afkid Ruchi Ve'et Ishan Ve'a'ira Ve'im Ruchi Giviati Adonai li velo yira. I don't know the key change for that. But now there's nothing else. We'll put it down.
That was good.
Next time.
That was good. I guess I should give you more than 60 seconds, Morning.
I don't usually need more than 60 seconds advance notice.
Let's rise for a closing blessing. Adonai Yosvei Amo Yitain Adonai Varechet Amo B'Shalom. May the Lord grant strength into His people and bless all peoples with peace. As we join together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'rachsavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh b'reishit Ki hu yom techila v'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim Ki vanu v'charta yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava Ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lachem min haaretz b'te'avon.
Shabbat Shalom.
Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, good to see you too. Good, how are you?